All America, all the time. Sit down, buckle up, and get ready for the Dan Bongino Show.
Happy Monday. I know those two words rarely, if ever, go to, right, Justin? I mean, happy. What's so happy about Monday? You got to go back to work. Many of you had a long weekend. You're like, the grind. This morning I was up. I was looking at the sunset, trying to get some sun in my eyes in the morning, drinking some coffee. And I was like, you know, man, I'm really feeling good today on this Monday. Even though ordinarily on Monday, I'm like, that was a really fun weekend, back to work. I was feeling great. Why? So many good things happened this past weekend. I'll get to the people who just obviously exposed themselves, which I told you, as always, that we're always right. We're never wrong on these things. So you stick to the truth and look what happens. So there you go. But that's not what I'm talking about now. A big, not fat Barney hug, but a real hug. Why is the Dan Bongino Show sign in the back all green? Looks like it threw up on itself. Oh, look at that. Jasmine, look at the sign. It looks like Reagan from The Exorcist, like pea soup green. Is that what that is loading up? It looks like it yacked on itself. It had a hangover, the D Bongino sign. It had a long weekend. Big congratulations and a hug from the Bongino Army, me included, to producer Guy. Had his first child this weekend. Amazing. We love Guy, so he'll be out for a little bit. So everyone in the chat, please, big clappy hands. Awesome for producer Guy, who is now a dad, which is the greatest gift in the world. There is nothing, folks, nothing in the world like having a daughter look in a dad's eyes and say, "Good night, Daddy, I love you." There's nothing like that. There's nothing like it. If you don't believe in God, that feeling you get after your daughter tells you that, nothing else can create that. That's not a simulation. Sorry. But Dan, you simulate. No, I'm not convinced. It's real. So congratulations. Also, big news. We are back on radio today, nationwide, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time on stations across the country. 3 to 4 will be Sean Farish live. 4 to 6 will be a Dan Bongino. We'll have some the podcast content, some new content. So don't miss that. Huge. We are really excited to be back on the air. Thank you to Jasmine and the team for busting your butts this morning. There's a whole bunch of formatic stuff we had to get into and things like that. Also, huge thank you to producer Jim and Mike. So that's awesome. And congrats to Rumble as well. Announced this morning that they had signed a potential $13 billion deal. So good for you. You know, Rumble, the whole ecosystem is growing, and it's really, really been a great Monday. All right, I got a ton to get to, including I told you to look at there. Good man. I told you that is his name Luke Skywalker? Just checking. Well, is it Luke? It's definitely not Anakin. So I told you to follow the money. Follow the money. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been warning you over and over. Even Political Playbook has a piece out this morning from Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna about the money problem in what you see as the influencer space. If you see something that sounds crazy, nothing is happening, Trump sucks, everyone in the Trump administration sucks, we all suck, we should all collectively jump off a bridge, you should be asking yourself, is that what that person actually believes, or was someone paying for that? Stay tuned. I got a lot for you. Hey, you one-stop pharmacy for medications you need? All Family Pharmacy handles physician review, fulfillment, and delivery. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Bongino. Save 10% with code Bongino10. Prescription provided if appropriate. Thanks, All Family Pharmacy. Today's show also brought to you by My Patriot Supply. Food security should never depend on perfect weather, flawless supply chains, or fully stocked grocery shelves, because that's not what's going to happen in an emergency like weather, drought, transportation, supply chain disasters, and attack. They can slow deliveries. Livestock disease can put added pressure on the system. You've seen it. These are stories that are in the news. You can't control every threat, but you can control how much food your family has on hand. I can't emphasize this enough. Huge supporter of My Patriot Supply. We've been working with My Patriot Supply for a long time. They're on a mission to make sure every hardworking American can rely on themselves when things go sideways. That's why they're doing something they've never done before by offering their best-selling 4-week emergency food supply. Buy one, get one 50% off. These kits are super important to have. They deliver a life-saving 2,000 calories per day, not starvation rations, with long-lasting, shelf-stable meals. I've had mine for 5 years now, no problems. They're easy to store, simple to prepare. Don't put it off. Strengthen your food security today at preparewithdan.com. Again, that's preparewithdan.com. Go today. Don't wait for the emergency. Preparewithdan.com. All right, fellas, let's go. The Monday Morning Bell. So it's a great Monday morning. Life is good. When you talk about the movement, talk about it with a smile. You're living in the golden age of politics, okay? Folks, when you see messages out there, for those of you who follow me on X, I know it's a wonky topic, therefore I don't want to waste an enormous amount of time on it. We've got actual fights going on with the left that are critically important against socialism and other big, huge battles out there, communism, and the organized assault on the Trump administration. When you see something online that sounds crazy, you should ask yourself, like, is this person saying this because it's a principled stand, or is there possibly an effort to influence you using people with followings with foreign money? I have been warning about this, Justin's like, you've only been saying this since you got back on the air. I've seen it. The foreign money going into influencing people on social media to believe crazy stuff about the Trump administration is through the roof. Now you may say, you know what, Dan? I watch your show, but I don't like you. I'm only here to kind of doom scroll you. Okay, fine, whatever. Your eyeballs are here too. We get, eyeballs and earlobes matter. We're doing the show no matter what. You don't believe? Maybe you believe Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. This was in Politico Playbook this month. Where do you think she's getting this information from? You think she's making it up too? You think we're all making it up? That there's a bunch of foreign money flowing into influencer accounts you thought you trusted? It's called Luna's Influence Operation. She notes, the Congresswoman, being an influencer right now is kind of like the Wild West. There's a lot of things that haven't caught up to. The Florida Republican is rolling out the Foreign Propaganda Registration Act, an amendment to FARA, the Foreign Agents Registration Act, that would require influencers to disclose when they're being paid by a foreign government to push political messaging, according to the proposal first shared with Playbook. Interesting proposal. I'm going to let you guys digest it. I am a free speech absolutist. However, I think it is fascinating that even Congresswoman Luna, and keep this up, is acknowledged that, hey, man, like, this is a real threat. You've got a bunch of people out there putting foreign influence stuff and not acknowledging, like, hey, man, we were paid for this. She notes the practice reaches deep into the influencer ecosystem. Some of your biggest profile names. What have I been telling you? She notes some of your biggest profile names, a large portion of them, in some way, shape, or form, have been approached at one point to push a certain position that's probably tied to a foreign country, Luna said. And the money can be significant. I've seen contracts into the millions, she said. Oh, look at that. Wow. Gosh, sounds like something Dan's been telling us for a while. That's because I have. It's because I have been telling you that. Folks, we don't take foreign money for influence campaigns, okay? Sorry, it's really easy. You can just put that out there. However, if you were following me on X this weekend and the absolute Dan Bongino crash out last week, right? We were trending pretty much every single day. I had this person who a lot of us reach out to me this weekend, but they're like, man, dude, you're like a magnet. And I said, and they said, I think I know why. And I said, let me hear your explanation. And I said, if it agrees with mine, I'll tell you. The reason the crash out is happening now every day is, again, the primary season is now ended. And all of these foreign influence campaigns and doomers and pillars got absolutely smoked. Sooner or later, if you're going to try to raise money from whatever it is, donors, foreign governments, or elsewhere, you have to show some political power. They didn't. They got crushed in every single primary and got crushed badly. Incumbents went down, new fresh faces went down. They got crushed. So given that I was the first kind of big name to exit the Trump administration, their effort to take the Trump administration down needed a face. The face was me because I was number one, a lot of their competitors, which they didn't like in the first place, in the content creation space, whatever you want to influence or whatever it may be. Second, we had an unbelievable record to run on. crime getting crushed, all the public corruption cases, like I told you, BLM, Antifa, SPLC, the Bolton case, all this other stuff. I got more to talk about today. The Nothing is Happening file, which became a joke. They got humiliated. So I was the face, the tip of the spear of their effort to make sure anyone who came out of the Trump administration, that because you don't want to take on Donald Trump directly, some of them started to do that now actually too. They had to make sure that their preferred candidate in 2028 would get ahead and a candidate of some foreign governments. So everyone who comes out is going to be subjected to this same nothing happened, all this other stuff. That's the only reason. The good news is this show just continues to kick ass and take names, and it's kind of blowing up in their faces. Folks, their MO is the same every time, though, these influence campaigns. It's the exact same thing. Put out some interview with a doomer, Ronald McDonald, whoever it is, about how nothing happened, everybody sucks. We fight back. They cry and whine and claim victim. I saw it this weekend. Dan Bongino attacked the J6ers. Really? That's interesting. That's fascinating. This is all just made up nonsense. There are people upset because they don't like other people I tend to associate. I like Scott Pressler. I have him on the show. The other guy's just upset about it. That's it. You saw Alex this weekend lose his mind again. These guys just can't stop. They can't control themselves. It's got nothing to do with anything other than a pure hatred for the administration disguised as this victim card. Oh my gosh, look at me, poor me. The division. All they do is talk about doom and gloom, and it drives them crazy. Folks, listen, we were the first out. Again, these people there's a bizarre boiling bunny obsession. It happens. But I'm just encouraging you, as you saw back and forth with some of the exchanges I had on X, look them up. People telling you they're not taking money or their operations haven't taken money from foreign governments, many of them are just straight up lying to you. Sorry, but it's true. I know that's tough for you to take. Folks, they're nothing more than what I call the new Trump resistance. Do you remember the old Trump resistance? You would think they would have learned a lesson from this. Remember the Trump resistance of Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell, George Conway, Dan Goldman, Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney. This was the original Trump resistance movement within, some of them within the Folex MAGA tent. Kinzinger pretended to be a Republican, Cheney and others. What's happened to these people? The answer is they're in the phantom zone. They're in like that Superman 2 episode where Zod and them get banished in the piece of glass into the phantom zone. You would think they would learn that President Trump is going to run on his record. He's got a huge megaphone, and he pretty much stomps these people out like a bug. He just crushes them. You would think they would learn. They didn't learn. They still insist on this BS. Here, receipts incoming. Remember the old Trump resistance? Fox News Politics put out this pair of tweets this week. And I just encourage you to, here are actual receipts. Democrats who built their brands on resisting Trump during his first term are getting wiped out in their own primaries. Even the Democrats don't even want the Trump resistance people. You think Republicans want Trump resistance people? Here are the names. Alexander Vindman. Remember him? The former Army lieutenant colonel, please, who became a household name. He got crushed by double digits despite outraising and outspending 10-1 his opponent. There's more. I don't know if you noticed, Alexander Vindman went down, put up the other tweet. Remember George Conway, another one of these anti-Trump lunatics? His congressional run failed to ignite. Former Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn lost the second straight cycle in Maryland. Billionaire Tom Steyer's California governor bid fell short. Eric Swalwell, a Trump impeachment manager, dropped his gubernatorial bid and quit Congress entirely. Dude, wait, all you got to do is go look it up. Man, how is this Trump resistance thing on the Democrat side doing? Terrible. I got an idea. Here's what they said, Justin. Let's incorporate it to the Republican side. We'll do so much better. You did even worse. Folks, I bring this up because despite the nonsense, I had an amazing weekend. I did. I celebrated a birthday party for a friend. I went out. We had a blast. I mean, I just had such a good time this weekend, and it feels amazing to come back to you on Monday with the show expanding, the Bongino Army expanding, the radio expanding. We have huge announcements coming up in September, even more. There's more stuff happening as the demand for this kind of content that's realistic, that brings receipts, but that talks about liberty with a smile. You know where I'm going with that, you P1s. This is going to be what keeps people motivated, what keeps people going. A realistic approach to politics, problems we need to solve, receipts. But no one wants to hear before a midterm election that could change the course of politics forever. Trump will be impeached if we lose, all this stuff. No one wants to hear a constant litany of whining and groaning and Dan Bongino is a Martian. But nobody cares. This is your wonky little corner of the internet where you've exhibited zero political power whatsoever. All you've got to do is go back at the exchanges and look at them yourself, and you're going to see, as always, we are right. You have no idea how many people emailed us this weekend. Dan, I doubted what you were saying. Now I get it. I know you get it. I get it too. Folks, you got to stay motivated for the midterms. We have two things we need to do. One, we have to tell people what we did in the Trump administration. That seems pretty simple. You know what? It is simple. The problem is, so keep this step one in mind. First, tell people what you did. I'll just give you step two. Step two is to warn people about the other side wants what they want to do. Those are the two steps. It's very simple. You may say, well, no kidding, Dan, like, hello, Captain Obvious. It's not Captain Obvious. You have no idea how many Republicans up on the Hill running for office at the state and local level too are quietly complaining to media people anonymously off the record, oh my gosh, we have nothing to run on. We have no map. What are you talking about? I said to you last week, your message is simple. Borders closed, crime crushed, and we're building stuff again in the United States. It's a simple message. Here, well, you know what? I don't want to hear it from you. I want to hear it from the president. Okay, perfect timing. Justin's like, I think I have that. Here's President Trump, plain-side, an AF1 with Caroline Levitt next to him. And not only does he tell you the exact same message I told you, don't listen to me, listen to him. He's got a far bigger microphone and megaphone than I do. He brings the receipts with him. This is your message. Run with it. You want to keep people motivated? Run on a record and stop the dooming, grifting, and liberal media BS. Oh, thing happened. Really? Check this out with receipts.
Are you going to miss Caroline? I'm going to miss her. Let me have that. So here is some headlines of Caroline. I should to stand next to it. I feel so good with her. These are incredible headlines that just came out over the last 24 hours. It's probably easier if I see it than reading them. But basically, the biggest refunds ever given on tax. That's big. From back refunds jumped 17%. American tax refunds increased by $43 billion. That's money that the government is giving back to the people. $43 billion. FBI had the biggest violent crime drop in 90 years. These are today's headline. Trump administration marks 15 straight months with zero court releases as apprehensions. So they've never had anything like that. So you had 15 months with zero people going through our border. I don't even know how that's possible, but they're doing a good job.
I'm sorry, but I'm done with the whining. I'm done with your whining. Not you in the audience. We love you. Thank you for being here. The whining of some of these politicians. We got nothing to run. What are you talking about? He just threw stuff in there I didn't even mention. In my borders closed, crime crushed, we're building stuff again. Largest tax returns. Prescription drugs finally leveling off and coming down. We're, again, manufacturing high-tech products again, creating $250,000 a year electrician jobs. I mean, folks, not all of our problems are solved. This is not the show where we're going to sit here and say, hey, we don't have an issue with the national debt. Bull, we covered it last week. Justin and I did a whole segment on it, on the Social Security crisis. We're not sitting here giving you some, utopian Pollyanna-ish story that everything's fixed and solved. It's all good. Stop talking about. No, I'm just telling you, like, any race for office is going to be a presentation of here's the do's and here's the don'ts. If the do's outweigh the don'ts, that's your candidate. Donald Trump has so many huge do's that are done, that he accomplished, that it's really getting exhausting listening to whiny doomers and grifters. Oh, we got nothing to run on. Listen to the boss. Take the guidance from him. He's got the biggest megaphone in the history of politics. You are living in the greatest time to be alive. I'm going to show you something else coming up too, because the liberal media does this all the time. What they'll do is they'll take Donald Trump's record. He just talked about borders closed. He just gave you the receipts. Crime has been crushed. I mean, it's not non-existent, of course, but by any historical measure, it's been crushed. We're building stuff again. High-tech production, factories, we're doing stuff again. And the media will do anything to not give Donald Trump any credit. Their message is no different than the black cloud people out there. None. Yeah, this stuff happened, but Donald Trump had nothing to do with it. He only has anything to do with the bad stuff. I'm not doing that. We got a midterm coming up, man. We got a midterm coming up. Quick break. I'll show you what I mean next. They will do anything to avoid the right answer. Anything, the media. Hey, everyday expenses keep climbing, and high credit card interest isn't making life any easier. If your budget's feeling squeezed lately, there's a smarter way to take back control. If you're a homeowner, your home equity is your best financial tool. American Financing can help you consolidate high-interest credit card debt so you have some breathing room. Timing matters now more than ever. With a strong chance of an interest rate hike this September, waiting could cost you thousands. And with rates in the fives, there's no better time to find out how much you could save. Ditch those 20% interest rates. By consolidating, you can slash your monthly obligations. In fact, American Financing borrowers save an average of $800 a month. Imagine what this kind of cash flow could do for your family. There are zero upfront fees, and you may even delay up to 2 mortgage payments. So lock in your lower rate before September. Call American Financing today. Here's the number, 888-994-7660. That's 888-994-7660. You can visit them online, too. It is a .net address. AmericanFinancing.net/Bongino. AmericanFinancing.net/Bongino. Thank you, American Financing. We really appreciate it. All right, back to the show. Here's what I mean. This is I like to give you the gaslighting tactics. You all know what gaslighting is? Gaslighting is when you get people to believe a false story. Well, we would say a story, not the story. The story is the story. A story is a version of the story that's typically not the story. The media tells you a story, not the story. The way they do it is by gaslighting, getting you believe in BS. They lie often, they lie confidently, and they isolate you from the truth. How do they isolate you from the truth? Put up that Axios headline, you'll see what I mean. Folks, here we go again. Donald Trump, one of his greatest successes, is the safest America you've ever seen. It wasn't just the FBI, it was the DEA, it was CBP, it was the U.S. Marshals, it was the local police departments who did incredible work. They still are pretending they can't figure it out. Axios, Russell Contreras, alcohol, artificial intelligence, and aging. Theories on why violent crime is down. You can ask. You can just, Russell, you can ask, Justin's shaking his head. He can't believe this is still going on. It has now been 6 months since we've announced these historic numbers on crime, an issue that resonates across the political aisle. Democrats, Republicans, racial divides, black, white, Asian. Nobody likes crime. Can we all agree? Except the sociopath serial killers like Hannibal Lecter or something. Nobody likes crime. Axios does not want to give this president any credit. I was there. I saw this president. Guys, you are going to crush crime on my watch. And every tool you have within the bounds of the Constitution, you're going to use. I was there. I saw. You could just ask. The reason they don't ask is they refuse to give this president any credit. It's the exact same tactic the black cloud doomers use. Thank you, Jess. I didn't send it over as a screenshot because it's so ridiculous. What did it? I can tell you what did it. Again, I've spoken to you about this 1,000 times. President Trump said, go help local police, given your FBI tools, pick up bad guys, even if they're state warrants. And that's what we did. It's not hard. They note, criminologists describe a complicated picture of why crime is down. Alcohol, illicit drug, people, what? A return to routine, COVID lockdown. This is so... Bro, you see the gaslighting here? This is the fourth component of gaslighting. Lie often, lie confidently. Isolate people from the truth. The truth is, President Trump was elected president. Not me, not Cash, not Todd, no one else. President Trump said, I want crime crushed. He said, here's a plethora of tools, ERO, Title VIII, UFAP warrants, a DOJ fully on board, task forces. Here's what we're going to do. They did it, and they're like, do you think the arresting bad guys had anything to do with it? Nope. It's definitely alcohol consumption. Alcohol consumption. What? This is the isolating people from the truth component of gaslighting. Russell Contreras, you can just ask, You can just ask. Criminologists are confused about what... Folks, it never, ever ends with these guys. President Trump is giving you the playbook for the midterms. I'm not doing the dooming and the glooming. I get it. The doomers with your little car videos and stuff as your audience collapses and people start to return to hey man, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this crazy doom stuff. I get it. You're upset. I get your diapers and mommy didn't clean you up. I understand. I know it's hard for you. However, your time is up. Your time is up. You tried. You ran your candidates. You got smoked. Your audience collapsed. I'm sorry. It's on you. Maybe you should have had a more receipts-based show with a realistic output based on the input Donald Trump gave you. You want to see messaging? No one gets it better than President Trump. They had another successful weekend, Freedom 250 in D.C., and you may say, all right, well, that's a small thing. They did this IndyCar race in D.C. It is a small thing, but ladies and gentlemen, it's okay to feel good about your country again. Washington, D.C., yes, is full of a lot of liberals. It's still our nation's capital, our nation. It doesn't belong to the liberals. It belongs to all of us. They had a great race this weekend. Check out some of these visuals. And by the way, I've got to drop an L here, right, Justin? I'm sorry. I always told you I would self-auto-correct myself. I've lost this fight, folks. I play the video, and now some of you may know where I'm going with this. This may be like a P1's thing. So there is the presidential limo doing a lap, an honor lap at the Freedom 250 course. Read the tweet. What does it say, Justin? It says, POTUS and FLOTUS arrive in the beast to freedom. Folks, this is the moment. I'm just acknowledging defeat. I'm telling you, in the Secret Service, we never called it the beast. We always used to kind of laugh at media. People did it. However, it doesn't matter. President Trump's the president. He wants to call it the beast. It's now formally the beast. The beast is back. It's back. There's nothing I'm going to do. Some of you will get that. Some of you will get that. Some of you. This has been an ongoing branding battle with me forever. Sometimes you lose one. Muttley's, laugh at me in the chat. I'm asking you, bring it on. I cannot beat President Trump in the messaging game, nor do I want to. He's the president. I wasn't elected. He wants to call it the beast. It's me. Muttley's in the chat. That's fine. That's fine. I deserve the Muttley's in the chat on that one. Yeah, there you go. Sometimes you just got to take an L on that one, all right? However, this is not a small thing, okay? It is okay to be proud of your country. Man, those Muttley's are really... I didn't mean how many Muttley's, guys. I meant a couple. I expected like 2 or 3 people. It's like the whole chat erupted in Muttley's now. The P1s know that. That's why. It's okay to be proud of your country. Even CNN ran a clip about Freedom 250, the race this weekend in Washington, D.C., and I think they were stunned. I wonder how many times they called back and were like, hey, man, we're doing these live interviews, and everybody's saying positive things about the race in D.C. What do we do? The answer is nothing. You got to air it. Imagine the faceplant by CNN. They were probably waiting for people to go, it sucks. It's hot. It was supposed to rain. President Trump is terrible. None of that happened. Imagine them having to air this. This sounded great. Check this out.
I'm here with Liz Eustace and Chris Richardson, race fans here. Chris, you've been to several races, you said. Okay. Liz, you have not? Okay. Got to get your impression. First time, how do you like it?
I saw the warm-up, and it was so cool. I didn't think, I was kind of like, oh, they're just cars running, but the speed they're going, it was so freaking cool, and I got goosebumps, and I got all shaky. It was really cool. Now,
you're a veteran, Chris. You've been to some of these races. What do you think, what stands out to you about this particular one?
It's a road course, and that's always fun. You know, it's a road course on my own home roads. I definitely love that, and just having a point of reference for how fast they're going on these city streets is insane.
So all told, this whole thing was in the works for actually about a year. The organizer, Bud Denker, the president of Penske Racing, had this as a brainchild starting last summer. He ran into some bureaucracy regarding his plan to put some of this track right by the Capitol and on the Capitol grounds. He ran into so much bureaucracy and partisanship on Capitol Hill that he was almost ready to scrap this whole race, but he was convinced to maintain the race, to try to just redesign the course somehow. So he brought the course away from the Capitol grounds and then back down here, more centered toward the center of the National Mall. So that's where this really took place.
It must really pain them because CNN likes to gaslight. To have aired a segment like that, gaslight, lie to people, lie often, lie confidently, and isolate them from the truth. You can't isolate them from the truth if you're broadcasting the truth. Again, I know it's a little thing. Not telling you just ignore the problems we have in the country. There are obviously issues going on, foreign policy and elsewhere. But these little things matter. It's okay to be proud of your country. We are going into the midterms. We can't have a bunch of voters out there ticked off about a nothing happened message that candidly is completely inaccurate. It's an outright lie, is a total 180 from the most profound change we've seen in presidential politics from the Republican side over a year and a half of any Republican, I'd argue, since Reagan. It's okay to be okay. You know who gets it? Here's another guy. You want to talk about a guy who's really been breaking through the mist and is out there just saying hey man, we've got a really good portfolio of stuff to run on. You know him. You love him on the show. Brandon Gill, he's been a guest here. He'll be back, of course. We love Brandon Gill, congressman out of Texas. Here he is in an appearance on the Sean Hannity show. Again, he's not having any problem with the message. He goes down a list of other things I didn't even mention in my borders closed, crime is crushed, and we're building stuff again in America. There's probably 5 or 10 other things. I just like to keep the message small, concise, and I love things in threes. Herman Cain, God rest his soul, nailed it. 999. People think in threes for some reason. So it works great. Messaging matters. Here's Brandon with more stuff that we can run on to cue off the kind of do's and don'ts list. There are far more do's than there are don'ts. Check this out.
Most Americans across this country look at and know the successes that the president has already accomplished. They see that the border is secure. They see that violent crime is dropping. They see that their taxes stayed low, that they had no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, that they're keeping more money in their pocket. They're seeing that this is a president who cares deeply about this country and preserving it so that our kids and grandkids get to have the same experience and opportunities that we got to experience. And they've seen how quickly the president has turned it around after 4 disastrous, just frankly, abominable years under Joe Biden. And I think that they're going to reward Republicans for that. And I think having the president front and center in front of the American people at this convention, and by the way, on the campaign trail, he's working incredibly hard for Republicans in both the House and the Senate. I think that's going to make a huge difference.
This guy just gets it. There's a list. If you're missing the video version of the show, I encourage you to check out the clip on Hannity. Hannity's team, Sean's team, put together a scroller that's running in a side-by-side as Brandon Gill, Congressman Gill, is talking there of the Trump team accomplishments. It goes on. The scroll goes the entire time he's talking and then some. There is a profound list of things that we have done. So rewind the tape a little bit. I told you in the beginning of the show, this sounds really simple, but it's not. There are some politicians who have a really hard time with this. They get lost in fake influencer fights and other things like that. There are 2 things you have to do to win an election. It's not complicated. Tell them what you did and warn them about what the other side is going to do. We focused on part 1. The list of President Trump dids, you get it, air quotes, is lengthy and significant. It's not small stuff. The border being closed, crime being crushed, building stuff again in the U.S. These are not small things, man. But we do have to, this is where I don't want you getting sidetracked in a lot of this, influencer nonsense. We have another side out there. Folks, we haven't fought a political enemy like this in a long time. This is not the Bill Clinton Democrat Party anymore. We have to pin on them and not let them escape from their lunatics. We cannot let the Democrats escape their lunatics now. If they are going to embrace them, then we are going to make the campaign part 2 about this is what they are and this is what they're going to do in contrast to what we already did. Chuck Schumer now is all in on this psychopath in Michigan on the Democrat side, Al Sayed, Sharia law guy. This is insane. They should be running from this guy. They should be saying, this is not our party. Make up some bumper sticker, coexist, tolerance, whatever bumper sticker you use in the past. No, they're now all in on this guy. You want to be all in? Good. We're not going to let the media isolate people from the truth. We're going to get the truth out about who these people really are. Chuck Schumer's one of the most prominent Democrats in the country. You want to embrace this stuff? Good. We're going to glue you to your lunatics. Al Sayed brings new energy to the party. Yeah, what kind of energy is that, man? Because all we're doing is playing his own words. Check this out.
The bottom line is we're going to win Michigan. Let me tell you why we're going to win Michigan. First, El Sayed has brought in new energy and new talent into the Democratic Party, but also in Michigan itself. But second, Michigan, Trump has so bungled the Michigan economy. You know, the numbers for Trump on how well he's doing in keeping costs down in the economy is in the low 30s. In the country, it's in the high 20s in Michigan. Why? He created a trade war with Canada. Anyone who's halfway decent as president knows that the Michigan economy and the Canadian economy are totally intertwined. And he's blown it. We're going to win Michigan.
All right, we'll see, Chuckles. I guess we'll see. And notice how he leaves out this guy. We're in now a trade battle with Canada, okay? Notice how Chuck Schumer automatically defaults to the Canadian side. Listen, these things happen. There's no need to make it personal or anything. But the hard reality is there have been some tough tariffs levied by Canada against U.S. products like dairy and elsewhere for a long time. President Trump doesn't run away from a fight. Listen, you know I'm not a huge tariff guy. I have positions like anyone else. The president doesn't require, all ending allegiance on every single issue for you to be in his orbit of people, who align with his MAGA movement. However, you can't leave out the other side of it too, that a lot of people ducked this fight for a long time, and the president's taken out. Notice how Chuck Schumer takes the Canadian side and the side of the guy, El Sayed, who's running proudly with Hassan Piker out there, a left-wing lunatic streamer, talking about things like rapes don't matter on October 7th. Can you imagine if a Republican candidate campaigned with a guy like that? What would happen? Now, watch them try to reframe this stuff. This guy's actually, and I don't mean this like that I like him at all. But this guy, what is his name? Adam Mokler. I think he's one of these Midas Touch guys. He goes on CNN and outlets a lot. He's actually a pretty skilled debater. He is a master debater. You got to say those things slow. You say them fast, you'll see what I mean. You'll get the eyeballs. Never say master and debater quick. Just don't do it. Friends don't let friends do it. I'm not calling him a master, but he's actually very good. The problem is a lot of what he says is crap. Notice how they're going to try to reframe this. He's on with Kara Swisher, who's, long story there. He's on with Kara Swisher, and his take is that this isn't about us campaigning with people saying that October 7th rapes are no big deal and we deserve 9/11. It's about Stephen Miller or something. Notice how they never get to the question of why are you campaigning with people who said this? They're trying to reframe it. That's what this is don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. Stick to the topic at hand. Do you or do you not agree with campaigning with a guy who said rapes don't matter and is making apologies for, the 9/11 people? Do you agree with it or not? Watch the reframing technique to try to make it about Republicans. They do this all the time. You'll see it in back and forth, like on the 5 or something, when there's a debate with Jessica and others. There's always a reframing. Don't allow the reframe. Ignore it. Go right back to the initial premise. They'll never do that because Swisher's a liberal too, but watch this.
Should Al Sayed separate from him? I think that when it comes to Hassan Piker and Abdul, there doesn't need to be a disavowal. I think that's fruitless, and I think it's just conceding to these right-wing frameworks. I genuinely think that Donald Trump surrounds himself with people that are just as radical as Hassan Piker on a daily basis. The way that Stephen Miller is always screaming and frothing at the mouth on Fox News every single week. I mean, Donald Trump surrounds himself in campaigns with many extremist radical people. The Republican Party is uniting around Max Miller after he allegedly broke his 2-year-old collarbone. I'm not trying to compare any of that to Hassan Piker.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
I'm just saying that the Republican Party holds themselves to one standard and then holds Abdul el-Sayed to this impossibly high guilt by association standard. No, we shouldn't disavow it. Keep campaigning, keep moving forward, keep laser focus on Mike Rogers. I'd say that's my framework.
That's your framework.
Now, the impulse here, I know you want to do it now. The guys in the room even want to do it too. Didn't we just go through a primary season where we just smoked all these people with this doomer, gloomer? What is he talking about? Republicans don't clean him. I just did it to throw that. Don't do that. Because then they'll get back into an argument about, well, let me tell you about this in the Republicans. You don't allow the reframe. I'm trying to give you tactics with your leftist friends, the skilled ones. This guy's actually very good at this. They do it all the time. Just ignore it. Because if you're on TV or on a radio show or a podcast and you're doing this on a panel on CNN, like Scott Jennings is very good at this. He does not let them do. You have maybe 30 seconds to respond. If you waste 20 seconds on their reframe, you then lose that 20 seconds to talk about, no, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, do you or do you not believe that rapes are excusable on October 7th? That you wasted all that time on something else. Do not allow the reframe. Your impulse is to do it. I know, come on, those in the chat, you know too, because you know that's crap. The Republican Party just cleaned up this entire mess. We just had a whole primary season where the truth tellers won. I know that's the impulse. It's mine too. You want to be like, no, don't do it.
And he's blown it.
We've got a primary season coming up right after this election, this midterm coming up in November. Presidential political season is going to explode. Folks, it's gotten earlier and earlier and earlier. Remember, it used to be like a year before the primary. Now it's like presidential election season starts the minute after the new president swears in. Presidential election season is going to come around. The goal on this show, again, is to keep everybody focused, on the accomplishments, talk realistically about problems. The goal is to keep the momentum and not engage in doomerism nonsense, and don't allow liberals to isolate you from the truth. I also want to give you some tactics, and this is one of them. Never, ever allow the reframe. Don't answer it. Don't even respond. Just go right back to the initial line of argument. Don't do it. It wastes time, especially on the air. We have presidential election season coming up right now. It's already started. I'll prove it to you. I got this clip of Chris Van Hollen from Maryland coming up. They're already doing it now. Let me take a quick break. I'm going to get back to that. If you're saying who's Senator Chris Van Hollen from Maryland, exactly. Why would he be bringing up a presidential run now? Because of what I told you. The influencer social media season has made politics an everyday event right now online. No one wants to miss the boat. Presidential election season starting earlier and earlier. You now have Van Hollen, basically a no-name senator from Maryland. I have some experience with him. Now saying, hey, man, I'm floating a presidential run too. This Democrat roster is just garbage. But there's a takeaway in this. I want to show you what I mean. Last break, and we'll get back to the show. Hey, I never realized how much my mattress was affecting my sleep until I changed it. I went with Helix Sleep. It was one of the best decisions I ever made. After switching to the Midnight Lux mattress from Helix, I'm falling asleep more comfortably, waking up less often, and feeling noticeably more refreshed in the morning. The Helix Sleep quiz takes only a few minutes, and based on my answers, they recommended a mattress that matched my sleep style and preferences. It made choosing the right mattress really, really easy. Try it. One feature I especially appreciate is the cooling design. It's Florida. Everybody sleeps hot down here, me included. On warmer nights, it helps me stay comfortable, which means less tossing and turning and more uninterrupted sleep. Since upgrading, I've felt more rested overall, and I've had better energy throughout the day. Helix also makes it easy to try for yourself with free shipping. Can't beat that. A 120-night sleep trial and a limited lifetime warranty. Helix mattresses are fantastic. Check one out. And now Helix, H-E-L-A-X, has an exclusive offer for my listeners. 27% off site-wide. So go to helixsleep.com/Dan for 27% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/Dan for 27% off site-wide. Helix, H-E-L-A-X, helixsleep.com/Dan. Check them out. Thanks, Helix. Okay, back to the show. Why is this important? Who cares about Chris Van Hollen? Because, again, presidential election season starting now. We got to have our tactics and our message down. Don't say, oh, we're going to wait till after the midterms. No, the time is now to start fighting back against these people. Chris Van Hollen wants to throw his name in there? Okay, I'll tell you a quick story about Van Hollen staffer when I was running in Maryland, what happened. But here he is this weekend. Campaign season's starting early. Here's the next one on the Democrat roster. Check this out.
I've been kicking the tires as I look at 2028 because I don't think the Democratic Party has answered the call about how we're going to make sure we have an economy that really does work for everybody, especially working people.
You've been kicking the tires on 2028, meaning you're thinking about running for president in 2028?
I'm kicking the tires, meaning I've been to New Hampshire. I was invited to go there. I was invited to go out to Iowa last summer. I think there's a great deal of churning within the Democratic Party, and I support that. As I said, I think we need this healthy debate because I don't think Democrats have put forward a clear alternative to the Trump administration.
So bottom line, you're mulling a potential run in 2028.
Bottom line, I think Democrats need to be very clear, not just what we're against, but what we're for. And I'm very much want to be part of that debate. And I am kicking the tires, testing the waters.
You can kick the tires all you want. So is Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, AOC, and probably 1,000 other Democrats who want to be president too. You know, they all look in the mirror and like, I'm a president. You know, they wink and nod at themselves. It's pretty spooky. These people are like American Psycho folks, you know. They're nuts. They all believe they're going to be a future president. I ran into a Van Hollen staffer. I was running for office in Maryland. It's a true story. Back when he was a congressman in Maryland. I run into this staffer, and I'm at the Republican booth, you know, whatever, Bongino for Congress or Senate, whatever race I was running. It was a long time ago. And this guy comes up and he wants to argue with me right away. He's like, yeah, I'm a Chris Van Hollen staffer. I was like, he's telling me about how important it is to hike taxes and all this. I just asked him a simple question and the dude totally melted down. Folks, he was so pissed off. The crash out was just epic to watch. I was like, you believe in higher tax? I go, how come you liberals just don't pay more yourselves? Why do you need the government to tell you to give more money to the government? Just give money to the government. You can voluntarily pay more. The dude lost his mind. He couldn't take it. He had no answer for the question. Oh, that sounds ridiculous. I said, why is it ridiculous? Americans who are conservative give money to charity all the time because they think it's a good thing. They don't need the government to tell them to do it. They give millions and billions and hundreds of millions of dollars to charity. They don't need to be told because they think it's a good thing. If you think government's a good thing, just give your money to the government. They won't do it. The dude lost his mind. Now, why am I bringing this up now? Someone said, hey, Dan, thanks for the debating tips. Hey, that's what I'm here for, okay? I'm not into this old losing elections crap for our party here, okay? We have to go out and win. We have to go out and win. We have to keep momentum high. We have to keep people on the positive ledger side of the fence where we talk about our results and we expose who they are. You should make every single Democrat running for office glue to them stuff like this. This is another video of Hassan Piker that's absolutely disgusting. Charlie Kirk was a friend of mine. He was a friend of a lot of you. A lot of you listening to the show right now. Charlie was a friend to a lot of people. Charlie Kirk was a good man. September 10th, 2025 was one of the worst days of my life. When I looked up and I saw on the screen from the FBI deputy office, when I saw on Fox News and the TV in my office there, and I saw the chyron, I almost couldn't believe it. I had the TV on silent because I was in a meeting. I was stunned like everyone else. Folks, there's no sane person who thinks that was funny or cute. Here's Hassan Piker at this leftist lunatic event with a bunch of crowd people singing along, and it basically a song mocking Charlie Kirk in the death. Check this out. Folks, I don't even know what to call that. sociopathic, deranged, lunacy, evil, demonic. I mean, obviously, all of these adjectives and modifiers, all of them apply in whatever language you use them. But you should glue that to every single person running on the Democrat brand. Remember, the socialists are not running under their own socialist banner. They're running under the Democrats' banner. You want to use the banner of the Democrat Party, just like people tried to hijack the Republican brand with this ridiculous identity politics crap that tried to snake its way into our tent, and we crushed it. We didn't allow it. You want to run under your own third-party brand? You know, we don't like this group or that group. Do it. No one's going to vote for you from our side for that. The Democrats are embracing these people under their brand. Do not, for those of you out there who have podcasts, radio shows, TV shows, this argument, I've seen this a lot. Here's the argument. You ready? You're going to get people like Van Hollen who are going to say, well, we have a big tent party with a lot of perspectives. Correct. I'm asking you about that perspective right now. Is it okay to mock a murder we all witnessed on video of a prominent conservative activist? Is it okay or not? Do not let them reframe, and do not let them say, oh, it's just a big tent party right now. They're running under your brand, not theirs. Is your brand okay with this position? Do not allow, under any circumstances, the reframe. Folks, everything they tell you is crap, and they share this messaging characteristic with the doomer people, where they just bring up the same argument over and over, no matter how many times things happen. I want you to watch what I mean, hat tip Mays more on this. This is a compilation video of Bernie Sanders. I'm going to show you what I mean, because I get this question a lot. Dan, you know, sooner or later, like the doomers and the grifters and the people trying to take the Trump administration apart from the inside, as things happen, sooner or later, they'll concede defeat. No, they won't. They will never concede defeat. Their entire mission is to destroy us, just like the left. This is what it looks like, that no matter what happens, this is Bernie Sanders over years and decades with the exact same message. Keep in mind, he's been in the Senate forever. So if the oligarchy is the big problem, Bernie, the millionaire, says it is, why hasn't he done anything? Second, he said this through Democrats, through Republicans. It's almost like Bernie knows it's a story, not the story, but keeps saying it anyway in hopes that stupid people will fall for it. Sounds kind of like the dooming, doesn't it? Because it is. It's the exact same thing. Hat tip Mays more. Check this out.
This great country of ours is moving very rapidly in the direction of oligarchy. The United States of America today is increasingly becoming an oligarchy. More and more moving toward an oligarchy. We are moving in the direction of oligarchy. We will move even more rapidly in the direction of an oligarchy. This great country is evolving into an oligarchic society. It is called oligarchy, and that is the system we are rapidly moving toward. This is a budget that moves our country rapidly into the direction of oligarchy. A handful of billionaires are moving this entire planet toward an oligarchic society.
Start off with the bad news, which is pretty bad, and that is that under Donald Trump, this country is hurtling rapidly toward oligarchy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about 30 years of the exact same thing. Bernie, just a simple question. And I say this to the pillars too, like, at some point, like, are you ever going to acknowledge reality that maybe you're the problem? He's been there in DC forever. Oligarchy, oligarchy, oligarchy. Yeah, nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. It's immune to facts. I used to joke about this, that liberals take the facts vaccine. They are absolutely immune to facts. No matter what set of facts. I'm not talking about opinions, facts. The border's closed, that's a fact. Crime is down significantly, a fact. Manufacturing, high tech is returning, that's a fact. You can have an opinion on said facts, but the facts don't really care about your opinion. The facts are they're immune to that. but they appeal to a certain group of people who want to think in emotion and not think in practical principles. Bernie's been doing this forever. It's a shtick. It's an act. It's all a big scam. It's meant to play you for a sucker. It's a big, giant scam of what do you remember, sucker lollipops. You'd call them suckers when I was a kid. I'm probably aging. It's a sucker lollipop. Yeah, in 1993 and 2025 is the exact same language in that Bernie. He even sounds the same. It's like Bernie Sanders has been like old forever. It's the weirdest thing. I feel old. I'm 51. I told you 40 didn't feel like 40, but 50 feels like 50. But it's the strangest thing. Like Bernie's been old. Bernie was like born old. What was that? Benjamin Button or something? That movie when a guy ages in river. That's Bernie Sanders. Maybe in 100 years, Bernie will be a baby. He's going backwards or something like that. He sounds the exact same. Rapidly advancing towards oligarchy. The guy's a freaking millionaire. He put out some post again this weekend. I think it was on his personal. He put out some post about millionaires and billionaires again. Someone should just go there and say, Grok, what's Bernie Sanders' net worth? You understand he's talking about himself, right? How are you falling for this act, this shtick, this stupid nonsense he puts on? Benjamin Button Sanders. Folks, please, put up that Clay Travis tweet if you could. Folks, the power of free markets and economic freedom is absolutely undeniable. That Bernie Sanders wants the government to control your money, your business, your family, your kids, your vote, everything, is a testament to pure stupidity. There is no record of this system Bernie Sanders advocates for ever being successful anywhere in human history. The only thing it's succeeded in socialism is failing every time, and people have died. Clay Travis put up a great tweet about this. Hey, I just bought a 32-inch flat screen TV for my son's dorm room. It cost $88. Flat screen TVs may be the greatest price success story in capitalistic history. They're close to free now, but cost thousands of dollars. But they would cost thousands of dollars a generation ago. Has any price fallen faster? Why is that? I thought we've been told this doesn't work. The left will throw at you. The cost of college education and healthcare has gone up. Yes, because the government's injecting themselves into the space. When the government decides it wants to pay for a product using taxpayer dollars, you divorce the customer from the doctor, and there's no reason for price controls. The government has very little to do outside of basic regulations with flat screen TVs. So producers wanted to sell more flat screen TVs. Justin, shocker, what'd they do? They said, we got to find a way to make these things cheaper. Why? Because people can't afford them. Not everyone could afford a $5,000 flat screen. When I first got my first big raise in the Secret Service, it was like GS9 to 13, right? GS13. It was a lot of money. It was like $10,000 a year, which was huge. I bought myself a gift. I bought a flat screen TV. The thing weighed, I kid you not, probably like 200 pounds, maybe more. I don't even remember how we got it up the stairs. The thing was huge. It took up this small living room in this small apartment I live in. And I was so proud of myself. There weren't even any HD channels to watch back then. I was like, it reminded me of Tom Hanks in Castaway. Look at what I have created after the fire scene. I was so proud of myself. That thing almost bankrupted me. You remember PC Richards in New York? Is that even still open? I went to PC Richards and bought it, and I was like I had conquered the world. That TV right now seriously would probably cost flatter, better technology, 4K, ultra high diamond, supercalifragilistic, all these extra assets, online, apps, all this stuff. Again, probably cost $100. Maybe less. Why? Because it's not hard. People want to sell you stuff you can afford. Why would they want to sell you stuff you can afford? Because if you can't afford it, you can't buy it. The only way prices keep going up and up and up for a product liberals will tell you nobody can afford is because the government's subsidizing it. That's why. Oh, man. I want to show you this too. I haven't done an update on Iran. Yes, listen, this is a healthy debate. It is okay for people to debate where we are in Iran policy right now. It is a welcome thing in the Republican movement that we're not all dumb leftist automatons who all have to nod along like stupid seals when AOC and Bernie Sanders say something. It is okay. Yes, not every single thing in the war in Iran is gone as has been anticipated. That's what happens. War is inherently unpredictable. However, I'm here to give you a balanced approach on the matter. Matt Whitaker, our ambassador to NATO, was on Fox this weekend and was talking about how now President Trump has transitioned to full-out economic warfare against the Iranians, who are having a problem right now, not only feeding people, but feeding their own regime. A lot of these ideologues are nuts, and they will kill us if they get a nuclear weapon. But a lot of them like their money too, and the money's drying up. President Trump's going to give a big speech today. I think it's about that. I'm not sure, in the Rose Garden at 2:30. But here's kind of a preview of where they're going with this. Folks, I know the left-wing media wants to tell you the Iranians are doing great, President Trump sucks, all that stuff. I'm just here to give you a balanced perspective. They're not doing great. They're in a whole world of trouble right now. Check this out.
I think these sanctions are going to be dramatic. I think they're going to be meaningful. But, I want to highlight their currency is as weak as it's ever been, and inflation is skyrocketing. And those two things, combined with this naval blockade that's being successfully executed, together with us opening a lane in the Strait of Hormuz to move oil in and out and ships back in to get more oil. I mean, some days, I think this is important, Ashley, some days we are moving more oil now than we did pre-conflict because of the pipelines that have been opened up and all that's happening in the Middle East. And so this is obviously, we are entering an end phase, but, Scott Bessent's announcement today is critical and important.
Folks, hundreds of millions of dollars are being lost by these greedy ideologues every single day. Their leadership has been decimated. Has everything gone according to a plan? Here's a simple question for you. Whatever does. Whatever does. War is inherently unpredictable. But going into the midterms, what I'm trying to tell you is principled opposition to it is fine. It's actually welcome. Give us your take. It'll keep everybody sharper on the inside. Nobody wants you do. The worst thing that can happen to a party, you're seeing it with the Democrats, is a bunch of dopey barking seals. Yes, everything you say, boss, everything you say. That's not good. People don't stay frosty. Then they just say something and they walk away with no accountability for their own decisions. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. That's not what I'm talking about. For the umpteenth time, that is not what I'm talking about. There is a lot, to turn this back to the beginning of the show. Why was I bringing this up? Beginning of the show, I mentioned to you Anna Paulina Luna's new bill, talking about foreign money floating into influencer campaigns. There is a fortune floating into influencer campaigns who never gave a damn about the Iran issue at all, who now all of a sudden are like, Iran. It's not about principled opposition to them. That's fine. That's welcome. This is a totally unprincipled, financially driven operation by a lot of these people. We're never wrong on this, man. We're never wrong. That's why this show, over a decade plus, we've stayed at the top of the market. Because we don't lie to people. We just eventually let people expose themselves. And then people come back and go, I see it now. I know. Also, we may have to add this to I didn't plan it, but we may have to add this to the Nothing Is Happening file. Did you guys see this video? I'm going to play it in a second, but it was circulating around. I think I should do a public service here for a lot of anti-Trump lunatics out there on whatever side of the aisle you're on. Folks, it is not legal or protected free speech for you to threaten the life of the president. That is not free speech. It's speech, but it's not free in that there is a legal penalty. I'm just trying to help you. Don't do it for Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Trump, Bush, anyone else. Don't do it. Say you hate him, Trump sucks, whatever you want to say is protected free speech. I hate the war in Iran. I hate tariffs. I hate the border being closed. That is all protected. Have at it, man. Wear your pink hats and all this other stuff. Scream at the sky, claw at your face. Just don't claw at anyone else's face. It's all protected. It is not protected free speech to launch videos online about killing the president. I'm just trying to save you jail time. Oh, you did the Nothing Is Happening. We may have to add this. I only bring it up in terms of Nothing Is Happening because Libs at TikTok, major breaking news. I can now confirm that this subject here has been arrested by the FBI early this morning. I thought nothing was everyone's innocent until proven guilty. However, again, I was assured, nothing's ever going to happen. Less than 24 hours after Libs at TikTok made them aware of these threats to President Trump. He's off the streets and is not a threat to our president now. Libs at TikTok threw that out there. Here is the video in question. Folks, this is not legal. You cannot threaten the life of the president of the United States and expect to avoid jail time, arrest, or an investigation. It's just not going to happen. Check this out. Oh, yeah. Language. Sorry, I'm trying to get. This is like a significant language warning here if you got kids, but you need to see it in full for it's not very long, but to make sense. This is not legal. Check this out.
All you are just fucking retarded. Y'all are all pussies. Y'all are all stupid. It is as simple as we all grab guns, we all group together, and we all rush the White House and actually kill Trump and all of Secret Service. We aren't doing this pussy shit before where we just storm it. No, we are killing. We have to kill. There is no other way. I don't know how many times I'm gonna have to say this shit online. We have to kill them. There is no other fucking way.
Just please don't do that. I don't know what else to say. This is not helping you or anyone else. I don't know if this was some emotional venting exercise. And I saw a couple of responses to this. You know, this drives me crazy. This is, again, a P1 thing. Some of you know where I'm going with this. People say, well, you can't scream fire in a movie theater. No, you actually can, especially if there's a fire. That is not the standard. That is not the standard. The standard for free speech versus inciting violence is it has to inspire imminent lawless action and the ability to carry it out. The fire in a movie, please, again, I'm trying to save Justin's like how many times? Please, on X, people will jump down your throat immediately. I'm just trying to save you, okay? Stop with the fire in a movie theater Brandenburg thing. That's not a thing with free speech. It's not true. Look it up. That is not the standard. It was America's favorite flimsy pretext for limiting free speech. Jeff Kosseff. This is one of the few times the Atlantic gets it right. Read this article. Accusing people of shouting fire in a crowded theater isn't sufficient grounds for regulating what they say. One of the few times the Atlantic gets it right. That is not the standard. Imminent lawless action and the ability to carry it out. That's the standard. If I get up there and say at a rally full of armed people, if I were to say to them at an Antifa rally, folks, get your rifles right now, run into the White House, shoot every single Secret Service person you see and the president, you're going to have an imminent lawless action, the ability to carry it out problem. Stop with the fire in the movie theater. It's not the thing. Read that article. I rarely would send you to the Atlantic, but it's one of the few good ones. I'm surprised you guys still have that. Is that in the Evergreen file? You had to find it? Yeah, good job. These guys got this Evergreen file of stuff we bring up all the time. We should call it like the P1 file because some of you already know that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, back on the radio today. Super excited to be here. So we really, really appreciate all your support. More big announcements coming. Means the world to us. So thank you so much. You've been with us from the beginning. It's been well over 10 years in this space now. It's been ups and downs, primary seasons. It just warms my heart. And I just want you to know I owe everything to you guys and ladies out there. Everything. It's all due to you. I can only listen to the show once. You guys are the ones that give us the hundreds of thousands and millions of listens. So we really appreciate it. You know, we're running this comment of the day contest. It's the Bongino 1776 Club. Once a week, we give out $1,776 to a listener viewer. If you want to see the official rules for the contest, go to Bongino.com/1776. You can check that out there. These guys picked the comment of the day. The comment of the day today is WSML in the chat. Oligarch is clearly the biggest word Bernie knows, and he doesn't want to learn another. Yes, it is. He uses it all the time. He's not that sophisticated with his pseudo-advanced vocabulary and he speaks oligarchy. That's all he keeps saying over. We are rapidly approaching. It's been 30 years. The approach is over. Land the plane already, Bernie. WSML, good job there in the chat. You know we love you. Again, happy to be back on radio. Now, I got a couple of announcements because people still ask me what's the format. Sean Farish has a new podcast. The podcast is at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, rumble.com/Sean, Sean with an H. Haley's still there at noon, rumble.com/Haley. We love her. Also, 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time, you got Vince, rumble.com/Vince. That's the podcast stuff on Rumble. Still there. Happy rocking and rolling. Sean's first week was amazing. Sean will be covering 3 to 4 on the radio nationwide, 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be there from 4 to 6 on stations nationwide. Again, more announcements coming up ahead. We really appreciate it. How do you watch the podcast? How do you get on the live stream? You just download the Rumble app. It's really simple. It is free. You can download it on your smart TV, your computer, your tablet, your phone, your laptop. Or if you don't want to download the app, you can watch online too. Rumble.com/Bongino. Just click that follow button right there. Join the chat. Join us live every single day. Rumble.com/Bongino every day in the Dan Bongino Show. We really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, folks. It was an amazing weekend. Thanks to you. Really appreciate it. See you back here tomorrow.
Hey there, I'm Vince.
I'm Haley Carania.
I'm Sean Farish, host of Vince.
Host of Scrolling with Haley.
Host of Sean Farish Live. You can always catch my show right here.
Right here on the Bongino Report channel.
Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, weekday mornings.
Noon weekdays.
1 p.m. Eastern Time.
And if you miss it, no worries. The show will always be
right
here
and
anywhere you find a podcast. Thanks for watching.
And thank you for your attention to this matter.
Hey everyone, Haley Carania here, host of Scrolling with Haley. My show is coming up right here on Rumble at